Um,
3, 2, 1. We're going.
Yo, yo,
Welcome
yo.
to Dawn Talk,
What's
everybody.
cracking? Number 2,
Don Talk.
Yep, this is
episode
episode 2.
dose.
And for episode number 2, we got Josh Taylor all the way from, are you North Carolina?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. See, that's
Yes,
why I had
sir.
to have Yeah,
South
gotta
Carolina.
make sure I get it right. If I ever want to
Little
go to
sunny
South
state.
Carolina. But welcome. Apparently,
Pleasure.
Josh has a hot topic on his brain, so we're just gonna roll with it
I
rather than
don't. Yeah, we
and
can roll
us
with it.
do a
Yeah,
scene
dude.
throw.
I don't know much about it,
Let's see what
but
it is.
Yeah, hit it.
there's Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Okay.
Yo,
I
Is
don't
that
know.
the dude that had the island?
He had the
yeah.
sex island.
Here's a sex
Okay.
And
island,
he's
bro.
got one of his accomplices is on trial right now, but not a whole lot of people are following it because the media is not really following it.
Yeah.
And
And
it
I
was
just
like
realized this.
an underage sex trafficking thing.
Yeah, they should be
Yeah.
burnt to the fucking
Yeah.
ground. And
And like this
I
lady is
haven't
not even
really
being talked about. That's the crazy part.
I haven't like followed that because I don't really follow much like politics. I swear I get my shit like
Um,
as if this was like Rome and I'm on the corner or something, just standing there or walking by and someone's like, "Hey, did you know?" That's how I felt at least the whole time like Trump was in office. It would be like
yeah.
people just kept telling me one thing after the next, and like I swear after that, that was when like the media was just like, "Fuck it," you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
I mean, if you look at their viewership, it's dropped in half because Trump's not in office. I mean, there's nothing interesting to watch on there.
no, what I'm saying is when Trump got in office, just
Yeah.
all bets went out the window. They were like, how we televise news from here on out is
Oh
like
yeah, chain. I mean, yo,
fucking
dude,
the
that
doors
was like
just
a.
blew off the hinges. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that was like a
And
juicy weekend steak.
and me personally, like, bro, I've never sought news media out. It just didn't resonate with me. I was always like, man, this is. I wouldn't want to start my day with it. At least put it to you that
You
way.
want to just flip the TV on and be like, yo,
I feel like that's not the highlight reel I want. You know what I mean? Like you don't got to bury your head in the sand by any
yeah,
means. But I think like politics as it is now, with our like bipartisan system, the way that everything's so split and divided, um, it's just people in this like pissing match of who they're not even really. They dictate the rules by which we live on paper, and what we're punished by, but they
mhm,
treat it like a game. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like my team versus your team,
yeah.
and really,
Good like
it.
example of that. Um,
uh
the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, I'm Republican. And apparently there was a Republican that tried to use what was happening with Kyle Rittenhouse as like a not like a marketing like schematic, but he
Scheme.
tried to use it as like leverage for like the Republican Party.
yeah.
But it was only him. I don't think like Republicans were like fucking with it. So
I hate to say it this way, but if he didn't do it, someone else would have. You know,
yeah,
like because everything in that arena, yeah, as it's like come to this point where
yeah,
we're at, it's now about using leverage to get your
yeah.
on the board. You know what I mean? Rather than actually what's right in
Yeah.
principality. Yeah.
Um, I mean, and we can like let's if we bring it back to like the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Hmm.
What Zach? Explain what you said. What we were talking about yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Your little
So
theory.
um, well, so it's sex trafficking, right? And the worst part about it is that it's children. It's people under the age of 18. And one of the things that you're noticing is that this person that was supposedly the accomplice to Jeffrey Epstein, her name is like, I don't know how to pronounce it, Ghislaine Maxwell or something. You're not seeing a whole lot of it in the news, to be honest. You're seeing articles, but it's not really like as crazy as it was in or for like Kyle Rittenhouse, right? But the crazy
Mm.
part is the Kyle Rittenhouse case trial was directly before this one. Okay. And it was pumped up by the media, super crazy. It was so crazy that people were expecting riots and protests because of it. And then directly after it, there's nothing about this Ghislaine Maxwell case. Like, no one
That could be
cares
just
about
some
this.
rich people strategic shit.
Exactly. And so they're
Like,
trying to protect these people because not only did Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell were they involved together, but they more than likely had other very powerful and very famous people involved too. So why wouldn't
mm-hmm.
they do this, right? And if you're gonna live on the assumption that Jeffrey Epstein was killed, it makes even more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that was
dude.
one thing
I
that
think
I thought about
I think that's just rich people um,
playing a game.
being very intertwined and I'm not saying all rich people, you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But like when you get to that like upper echelon, like where it's weird, um, where society once you're at the level where you have so much like fame that people look at
Influence.
you as an opportunity,
Yeah,
like that's the
No.
point where things kind of change, you know,
for
and you
sure.
have this like secret society lifestyle almost like by default of just
Yeah.
trying to like in my mind maintain your sanity, but you're probably so far down this road like what you thought success would be and trying to like dig almost like you're getting more like you haven't reached the treasure yet, you know, you're still not fulfilled, and
Yeah.
so you're on this like crazy because that's the only way I can see you getting into a room full of people that are not only that successful but that fucking twisted that they would do some shit like that. You know what I
I'm
mean?
just gonna point this out now so I don't look
Mhm.
stupid later. But I had left it on the Google screen for the first 6 minutes of this podcast on accident.
That's okay.
So now we're seeing our faces. Wave to the camera,
Hey
guys.
guys,
What?
I'm Josh. This is what I look like.
This is goofball, man.
That's Dome.
It, it doesn't matter to be honest, as long as we're doing these and like getting our reps in, having our fun.
For sure.
Eventually, the production value of this is gonna be like bigger.
So we
Right
100%.
still
now,
we're still just rolling with it.
yeah, and I think it's important as people that we gather, you know. And what I'm seeing right now, the older I get, and my friends are older than me, even, you know. So being a few
Like I'm
years,
like super
I'm
baby.
26, so like a
Yeah,
few years ahead of me is like 30, the cusp of 30 or beyond 30,
yeah.
right? And then I have people that are even older than that. And so when I'm kind of looking and I'm like, dude, all of my friends are developing lives and kind of losing touch, you know. And I'm like, that was the whole premise of Wonderful Entertainment was to figure out how to take all the cool people that I've met, where I'm like, yo, this person deserves a spotlight not only on their life and what they do, but just who they are, really. Um, and it became a way for me to check in, and so that's why I was like, man, as long as we're doing this and it's with people that we know and love, and like don't sacrifice on that, it's gonna be a dub sooner or later. I don't know.
110%, bro.
They hit the heart.
But you know, the thing is trying to go through these like the hurdles of adversity, I guess. You know what I mean? While you're doing this shit, is like me and Zach spent like 2 years to even get to where we are with just having all the equipment we have and the ability to really produce film.
And
Um,
where we are isn't even that far compared to
that
the whole race, you know.
that's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
be real.
saying.
Knowing you guys, I got to skip a hurdle because like I'm sure you guys probably like like how I bought equipment. That's like
Mhm.
top notch of now, and then of course like later on, like it's already there's already stuff that's better than mine, and I'm already outdated to be honest. But
Yeah,
you guys have
I
let me skip that hurdle of having to buy new stuff. So
I bought a Panasonic HMC 150 because that was what we were learning on. And as soon as I got it, like not long after, probably like a month, 2 months, I broke something in like the Zoom function, so it wouldn't do it smoothly.
Yeah.
It was kind of like janky. But I swear, as old as that is, it's still a good camera. Like I love shooting film on it, and it's kind of like bigger, so like maneuvering with it, it's fun. It makes me feel like I'm a camera guy,
Nice.
like old school shit for real.
My fucking
Nice.
lip is bleeding.
We'll make it stop.
It had like a piece
Yeah.
of dry skin on it or something. I don't know.
Everyone in my class in college, um, everyone used like Canons.
Yeah,
That's the
Everyone thought
popular
Canon was
one.
like the best. Yeah.
Everyone
And I was
goes
the
to
only
Canon because they
person.
like. A lot of people get into doing video stuff because of like videographers on YouTube, and then Canon used to be
Yeah.
like the huge one. Canon
Yeah.
but
80Ds and shit.
at
Yeah.
the
I
same
was.
time, it's like I only got into Panasonic because that was one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was the only kid that had a Sony. Everyone's like, "Oh, what camera do I buy?" And
Sony's
I
have
was like,
gotten big in the last few years because they've been killing it with
Yeah,
like the A7 series and
"Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
I, I was
I
gonna
love them."
say, whenever we go to sets, it's always like everyone's shooting Sony's, and then it's like
Yeah.
me, Corey, and you, and maybe Craig.
Craig
With
has a
Panasonic.
Canon 80D right now.
Okay, yeah, I was like
Emily
maybe
had a
Craig.
Emily had a Canon.
Yeah, but she shoots photography, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that's true. But she uses it for video too.
Yeah,
Um, 'cause
but she does her thing, dude.
yeah, she's really good. She's talented.
Phenomenal, phenomenal.
Insane.
Yeah, like honestly,
Who's that?
I'm so stoked for when she starts having different art phases. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
right now she's just shooting like marriage photography, but I'm like, I would love to see her shoot a whole like noir series. You know?
Yo, are weddings like the game? I feel like
You can make a lot of money
You can make a lot of
consistently.
money,
yeah,
but they're hard because you got to deal with sometimes. Well, depending on the bride, sometimes you got to deal with
yeah,
a picky bride. Sometimes you have to be the person that works around everybody else's plan and their schedule. I did one wedding and I will not do it again because of that one experience. I'm gonna be honest. I
yeah.
was on
Because I
my
have a
feet for like 13 hours for like $200. I was like, not gonna happen
cool.
because I was working for someone else. I was like, nope, no,
Yeah, the
no,
subcontracting is not the way to go.
no.
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna
unless
do
you're on a
that.
big budget production, you never know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that one, I won't do that again.
But
No
for low
shot.
budget, no, no,
Yeah.
Have you guys worked on like big budget
can't do it.
stuff, like shows and stuff?
The biggest one
Yeah,
the biggest thing I worked on was a horror movie that I was told didn't turn out to be good, so
yeah, but you can't help that. A
What
lot
did
of
you
horror
do? Were
Yeah.
movies
you a
aren't
PA
good.
or something? Or
I was a volunteer PA, but I did so many things on set. I was
yeah.
basically a PA, I was a grip electric, and I was a second camera assistant camera.
He was also
Wow.
holding a branch out.
I was also holding a
Like,
branch. I was wafting smoke into the forest to make it look hazy.
Ooh.
I was yeah, I was doing a lot of shit.
You were like the key detail guy. Like you were
Well, it was
necessary.
me and one of our old classmates, Gardner. We were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like he and I were like together on most of it. So
Nice.
it was interesting, and it was also kind of like a really good slash bad introduction to the film world because it was the worst set I've ever been on. But I'm like, there's no way it
Yeah.
can get worse because that was a bad set. That was a terrible set.
I think everyone's first time on set is just the worst.
Well, dude,
I
like,
don't
I
know.
don't know, dude. I had so much fun. It wasn't a big, I've never been to a big budget production, but like on every film set that I've ever stepped foot on, even when it was just me and my friend Josh, like, cause my, that's interesting. His name's Josh, and we're like his protege.
I
But I
used to
got
have a
brought into
friend
the
named
game
Josh too.
by my older homie, named Josh, and we were doing a film project. And I remember I was filming him like coming out of his house, but it was just us. So I was hitting this and I was recording the audio because we had to have sound, and I was the only one that was familiar with that. Going through
Yeah.
broadcast, that's like what my specialty, I guess, was.
Was that?
Um,
Did you want to be a boom or?
no, not at all.
He was forced
Never. You
into
know
that
how many?
role.
Yeah, you know how many sets I've spent
Dang.
hours on in the cold like this, trying to be quiet. You can't shake the boom because if it's a shitty
Yeah.
boom or like the way that they rig it or whatever is just not tight. If they got a like cheap ass USB or USB, what the hell
Um.
XLR cord?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If they got a
Um.
cheap one that rattles or something, you gotta stay hella still. So you're just out there freezing and
Yeah.
your hands have been over your head. Like, how dare you to just go and hold your hands up like this?
Nothing in
See how
hand.
long you
Pass.
gotta do that. Now
Nothing.
imagine adding this weird counterweighted thing, so you're like trying to position it and like fuck with it, bro.
Put your hands up, bro. Let's see how long you can do
I had
it.
me.
Are we doing
Woo.
this? All right, hold on.
Are we doing it?
No, I'll pass,
Yeah,
bro.
We'll do the podcast for as long
Um.
as we can.
yeah, bro. Fucking put them hands up, boy.
No. So I had a friend in one of my classes that was a boom, and I'm done already. Um.
He's like,
I,
joking.
no, but I had a friend in my class that was a boom, and this kid, like, he would
Here's
take.
a boom.
You guys know? Did you guys have like special bags for AC kits?
No.
Did you guys
What
have
the hell is
those?
an
No.
AC kit?
Okay, like you'd have the clappers and
Yeah,
all
no.
your
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
gaff,
No.
all your gaff tape and like this
We didn't
bag.
have bags for it, but we
You didn't have bags
yeah.
for it.
No, we
Okay,
didn't.
well, so for me,
I really
we had
wonder how long.
we called them AC kits, and we'd have a bag full of all the little gaff tape and every little thing.
Yeah.
Um, but he would take those bags, literally dump like wireless mics in there, and he would have a whole like soundboard just ready to like record. And this man would like
Yeah.
wear it around his neck, and
Yeah,
he would have a little
that's the way
soundboard.
you do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like pro boom operators, they have this
Yeah,
bag. It's like their
yeah,
receiver for their boom, and it's plugged
yeah.
into that. Same with all their lavs, and they wear it
yeah,
around them. Some of them have harnesses, so it's like less weight, like less
yeah.
hurtful to your
Hey,
body or whatever.
phantom power booms gotta
Yeah.
be so dope.
I don't know if
Oh,
I don't think phantom powered are as good. I don't know though, but
I
I'm
don't know.
pretty sure most of the
My
guys
mic's not phantom
I've worked
powered.
with are not phantom powered. Wait, did you start a timer? Or you
Yo.
like
No, I didn't start a timer.
you just looking at your
I
phone? You
just
got a
got a
notification?
yeah, I got a text.
I've been trying not to pick my phone up, bro.
Yeah,
I know now it's just straight willpower.
y'all just look dumb.
I'm still chilling though.
Hey, this
So
is just
okay,
what it has to do.
so in school, did they ever teach you guys that you had to choose which route you wanted to go into?
They were trying to
No.
keep my ass in the classroom because I was always going to doing some
what
fucking hooligan
what
shit.
sucked with ours, and I'm not this isn't anyone's fault, but what happened with ours is we got put into this class, this program at the end of one teacher's career, and then so that kind of made the program in the first year feel a little incomplete. And then the new teacher didn't really know what we had already learned, and so she was building a new curriculum about like while teaching us, and we didn't really get
Trying to figure out what the
yeah
fuck we don't know.
we didn't get a
Oh,
Yeah,
full program really. We got two halves of two different puzzles. So it was
yeah,
like trying
and
to put it was pushing a square into a circular hole,
yeah,
and but you made it fit.
they were two totally different philosophies.
Exactly.
Like Blakesley she was like nurturing and endearing.
She
Like she
wanted to
would
watch
never
our
ever
movies,
tell you not to like
try something.
yeah, not to try something and like wholeheartedly be like, nah, go for it. Like I believe in you. Jack was like, it's gonna look like shit, go film something. I'll
Yeah,
see
he's
you in
like,
an
I don't want to
hour.
watch your fucking movie.
Yeah. I'll see you in an hour. This
Yeah.
is what I want. I want you to do lines of action.
I want you to
Go,
do an
find
A to
lines.
B. I want you to do a chase. I want you, yeah, all this other
Yeah.
crazy,
And so he had a way different way of doing it
wow.
than Blakesley sitting down and going, well, what do you know? What don't you know?
Yeah.
Like,
And y'all had some
oh,
fun classes.
Yeah, but
yeah,
like
and
at
then
the same time, some
she
of them
put
were
us
just
into groups
crazy.
differently though.
Yeah, we didn't get to pick our groups most of the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
really?
actually gave us like a 1 year master class, to be honest.
It was on. It was a really good project. The one that I liked the most was the mock thing that we did, where everyone got a role on set, and then there were two groups, and we got the same script, but they had to come up with. Or I think it was the same script. And you had to make your own film, and so like one person was the
Yeah, we
director,
had
one was
parameters and shit.
yeah, one was the director, and they didn't get to really pick their roles, right? And but that's what
Mhm.
everyone did. So
Um, I had something similar where everyone would like we would have multiple short films that we made,
yeah,
and um, and
Yeah,
so
them
like
big.
one short film I
I'm
would be
getting there.
camera, and then the next short film like a different guy, um, I would be like AC or not AC like camera assistant,
Yeah, well that's
and
AC,
yeah,
assistant camera.
um, there's this one
All right, fuck it, I'm done.
the class like a class the semester before I had a
Who's
class
number
where
one?
we made one short film, and the kid ended up hating it, and then I had the same like same class, but it was like a second version of it,
hmm
same class with the same kid. He wanted to make it again.
The same film that he hated.
Yeah, yeah. So the storyline was basically about this dude that thought he was ugly, and then he would kidnap some hot dude, cut his face off, and put it onto his face.
Wait, is this the one that you showed
That's
me?
a crazy ass idea.
Yes, this
No
one
way.
absolutely hated.
I thought
This one,
this was. I
th-
thought the premise of
we
that film was different. I'm not gonna lie.
and the funny thing is, we got further with the first time we did it, like in the storyline, we got further in the first one that we did than the second one.
I'd have been like, dude, we did
I,
this already.
I don't.
I'd have been like,
Yeah,
no.
we
hey,
shot. We had like 4 shots.
give it a couple years, bro. I'm telling you, that might be a thing.
What?
He's gonna
What?
he's gonna come out with that movie. He never gave up. If
He
that fool
probably
just
will.
kept going, can you imagine
Yeah,
if
he'll
he just
probably
kept
crack the
going?
code on it on how to
This
do it.
this kid, the kid that I'm
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
he likes writing scripts, and this was one of his scripts, his favorite ones. I don't know why you would use
Yeah.
it for a project if it's your favorite one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just take a stab at it or something.
It's your favorite one. It's a project. You know it's gonna end up being not as good as you want. Like
Bro, I heard somewhere that James Cameron, the dude that made Terminator,
yeah,
he was like, "Fuck the money that you're gonna pay me. Put it into special effects."
Yeah.
yo, so true.
And it turned out being like the best investment. Made that movie so much doper.
Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds did something similar to that on Deadpool, but for the writers.
Hmm.
I think it was the writers, and then but yeah, but I mean bro, most of the time anybody you talk to who's in the creative industry, especially film, if you ask them what that if they would change something about their films, they more than likely have a list of what they would change.
Yeah.
Like George Lucas has talked about this before. He's like he would go back and change so many different things in the original Star Wars movies because he doesn't like them, like certain different aspects of it. You know?
Yeah, dude. He had like
It,
brothers and sisters kissing.
Yeah, for real. A little bit of incest in there.
Yo.
Slaughtering schools full of like little children.
how do you let that slide?
My
Like you
dude
gotta
with a
think.
rat tail. You know what I mean?
Imagine
He had a rat tail.
you think. Imagine being a dude that's writing a movie, and then like you end up making so much money, you want to make more, and then you don't even realize that you filmed incest.
Maybe he did.
Oh,
You have no. I don't know if he actually. I
You
think
think he
he
meant
actually
to do
wrote
that?
all three of them. I think he meant to do that because I don't think you forget what the script is and the relationship between these people. I don't think you
Yeah.
forget that you make these characters kiss.
Yeah.
You know, you don't forget that because that's kind of like a pivotal moment. I don't
I don't
know.
know.
yeah,
I
I don't
wouldn't
know.
forget
I
it.
I
don't.
don't like
I've
writing
never
scripts.
derived the meaning of that from that film. Like that was the one thing. Like it seems like everything is like super purposeful, even though like yeah, there's like the little kid fucking kindergarten Columbine thing that happens in
Yeah.
Jedi Land. With
I think
Anakin.
it was a
That's
joke. I think it was meant to be a joke.
Maybe.
no. I think it was meant to be the
Uh,
most like darkest shit that you could do, basically. You know,
Maybe.
and and that's for damn sure the darkest shit you can do like out in the open like that in a Disney
yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
You
but it
know?
Well, I
wasn't
mean,
Disney back
it
then.
wasn't Disney. Yeah.
Oh,
They
Disney
just
didn't
got with
own Star Wars back then.
No, Disney
no,
owned Star Wars
like
before they started the most recent trilogy.
yeah, like 2018,
2018, 2017, something
18.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was just LucasArts.
Yeah, that was just Lucasfilms back
Um.
then.
Hmm.
I don't even know if it
Hey,
was
but
You know,
whoever
Lucasfilms.
first.
cast Liam Neeson as Qui Gon Jinn is hard.
Dude, they
Kemper, have
had
you
to
seen
modify all their sets because of that guy. They had to extend them.
Is
They had to make them bigger. Cost them money.
Jeez. Kemper, have you seen Force Awakens?
Star
that the
Wars.
newest one?
That's like
It's
Is
the
that the one
first
with the
one in the
blind
most
run?
recent
the
trilogy
first one of the third trilogy.
Yeah, yeah. I've
with
seen all of
Ray.
them.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
when the first one when you're introduced to Rey for the first time and Kylo Ren.
yeah.
That is the first movie that Disney
Made under
was the
Star
producers
Wars.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. No one
Well,
liked
yeah.
it because it was too Disney friendly. So
And there
Oh,
wasn't any cool lightsaber stuff.
yeah, it
I,
wasn't that.
I think what they wanted was to just take it and make it that Disney style. You know what I mean? Of like, if I was watching a breakdown of like things that Disney does with their films,
Yeah,
and all the like very reminiscent things that run from one to the other
Yeah.
that kind of connects you to a similar like emotional state. And so that's why they have all those like moments where it's like a battle's going on and everyone's like, oh, it's like,
yeah,
you know, and everyone's just looking as this fucking pointless ass ship flies over or something, you know, whatever.
yeah. Like yo,
Whatever yeah.
he sees it
Uh,
one time throughout the whole movie.
it sucks though. It robs an aspect of the
Yeah,
film, you know.
yeah. I think George still writes them, but just like it does cut out that a little bit
I
of
don't
how
think he
much
writes them.
say he has. You don't
I
think
don't
he
think
writes
he
them?
writes them, no.
Uh,
I don't think so.
but it does cut out like how much say he has in what they do.
I don't think he has much of any say.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I
Well,
wasn't
he probably
listening.
doesn't because like with like Harry Potter, the J.R. Token,
Yeah.
um, for some reason they let her have a bunch of say in the movies, but
It's probably part of the contract. She was like, I'll only sell you the rights to make this
yeah.
a movie if you give me executive
But they
producer
made
rights.
those movies awesome.
They were
Yeah.
Like
No, I
phenomenal.
love Star Wars.
No, Harry
Or
Potter.
Harry Potter. I love Harry
just
Potter.
let it be known, those movies
Yeah.
are shit, you know.
They are the
So
shit.
she did something right. I remember being little when the first book came out. I was super, and that was
Yeah.
like one of the like craziest learning experiences for me. Because at night, um, like my mom would get hella books, but my mom would be like so exhausted because like her and my dad had just like got a divorce and shit. Um, that like I would kind of like taught myself to read in a sense. Like
Yeah.
I remember our neighbor taught my brother, but I was sitting on the couch, like the edge of the couch, watching, and I was able to actually learn the like phonetics of how to sound things out super duper quick, you know. And so once I learned that, um, at night when my mom would go to read me to sleep, she would fall asleep, and I or just start reading crazy shit that don't make sense. I'd be like, say that, you know. And then I began to learn how to read. And so when that book came out, it was like a challenge for me. That
Yeah.
was like the first book that was like this thick that I ever read. Like, and I would read it like a little bit, a couple pages like a night. That shit was like a journey for me. I love that. super low. Another
Yeah,
hard
bro.
book. There was a book called The Supernaturalist. They're gonna make a movie of it. I'm telling you because they already got on the what's his name? He was a spy. He lived on the golf course. Artemis Fowl. Artemis Fowl.
I have
Yeah,
no
so the
clue.
same dude that wrote that wrote a whole another book that was just a one-off kind of thing. He didn't do a sequel to it, and it was so hard. It was about like these space, like slavery, fucking
Space
like
slavery? What?
ghost ghost chasing. Yeah, it was crazy, bro. It's like these people that can see these supernatural beings, and
In
they're like,
space?
yeah, bro. It they go to space, bro. And this is like, yeah, I swear they live in like future
Huh.
Detroit or something. It was a crazy ass book, but I remember it's the only book in my life. Well, no, there's been like enough that I could count them on these hands. You know, there's probably less than 10 books that I
You got
can
more
refer
hands than that or something?
to. Oh shit.
He's like, I got more than I can count on these hands. You got more than those hands, bro.
Yo, homie stoned out of his mind. He said, these
You know what I'm saying, motherfucker. Yeah,
Oh
it was one of the only
shit,
books
bro.
I ever opened up and just read front to back. People were probably watching this shit like, I ain't surprised, motherfucker. Hey, fuck you.
I'm not gonna
high. This
lie,
is
bro.
how
I
it's
got
felt.
lost for a second. I was like, how did we get on to you learning how to read? And then you brought it back to Harry
Yo,
Potter. So I was like, wait, how did this happen? But
like I knew
Yeah,
you said that Harry Potter was like the first book you like kind of read, and
yeah. So
then
Harry Potter was the first
you
one.
started talking about sounding stuff out, and I was like, what? It's like,
wait, now I'm lost.
yeah,
Dude, I can't help the way that my brain works. I just hope that it works for people. That one day y'all come to know and love me enough that you're like, no, y'all you know, but you know what
I'm
I'm
just,
saying? Like that a
I'm
Yeah.
just,
stranger can watch this and
hey,
just be different.
Kemper, I need to have a real moment with you because
Yes.
every single time me and you have a conversation, you're always high, and I feel
Yeah.
like when you're sober, you don't know I exist.
How did it exist?
I honestly feel like you don't know that I exist when you're sober.
Oh, when I'm sober?
He's a
Yeah.
figment.
What?
You're a figment
I
of his
thought you were an
imagination.
imagination right now. I thought
Imagination
you just
land.
yeah.
Alright.
I I thought this was my own hallucination. You know what I mean? Like me and Zach's got some kind of spiritual bond where he can see you too. You know what I mean? And you just disappear or some shit after the call.
I mean, I could.
No, is that you just saying
Poof.
that I don't reach out enough?
Now we see a
What
poodle.
are you? A fucking
It's a
what's your
poodle.
emoji?
It's a poodle.
Hold on.
It's an
Oh, it's an
NFT. It's an
NFT.
NFT poodle.
Yeah, it's a poodle. Do I need to shout it out? Poodles
Y'all need to
NFT.
start explaining what NFTs are to people.
NFTs are? Yo, you're gonna have to have
Yeah.
Zach do that.
I've already
'Cause
done
every
it.
time
No,
I
he's talking about explaining it to people, like on the
Oh.
podcast.
People, bro.
Oh
So
yeah, I mean
NFTs, and so we're extremely new to it. I'm gonna give that precursor first.
yeah, give that a
Uh,
precursor.
we're extremely new, so the way that I'm gonna explain it is for very normal people. All right, people who don't really have a whole understanding of cryptocurrency. So, cryptocurrency is a form of currency that you can buy into, and it's similar to stocks where it goes up and down in value, and it can crash and it can boom. Okay, you can buy it with your dollars through apps called like Coinbase and other apps like that. Um, there are two big ones. There's Bitcoin, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about, and then there's Ethereum. Ethereum is the one that is the most important when it comes to buying and selling NFTs. NFTs are essentially digital art that you can buy online as if you were to buy a painting at an art auction. It's very similar, but you're buying the digital image rather than a physical. And you can buy and sell these NFTs online with cryptocurrency, aka Ethereum. You can also make your NFTs You can make songs into NFTs. You can make videos. You can make images. You can make. Uh, some people literally are selling squares of color, and so
Yeah.
these people make different images, whether it be poodles or really crazy, cool looking caricatures. Uh, their own form of like cards, like trading cards and stuff like that. So NFT world is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's
And
pretty crazy.
I mean, and it's like another space where like social media, how there's stuff that trends.
Yeah.
It's like very similar to like social media, how these specific things will be trending. Like 2 weeks ago, I could tell you that the big thing was apes. Like for some reason, like
Yeah, the Bored
baby
Ape
apes
Yacht
and
Club. Yeah.
yeah. And then what? Now it's like just kind of random animals, and well, it's like transformed from like animals, and now it's like just like
Anything.
kind of like inanimate, like kind of thing, like boogers, like
Yeah, it's really weird and like
yeah,
food. Not food. It's not as big, but like
yeah. No, it's
um,
mainly been like animals lately,
it's
but
like weird animals, like
yeah,
bulls, bears, fucking
yeah.
apes, fucking, and
That's what I'm
sometimes they're
telling you,
going
bro.
to
You
like
gotta just
they're going well
put them up.
they're also going into eight like so I've seen a lot of these called mutant apes, and so when you
Yeah.
look at these things, they have so many different things going
Can
on,
you
like
pull
they're
it up?
made out of
Screen share
slime and
that.
shit. Yeah. Here, oh, let me send
Yeah,
this thing
screen
real
share.
quick.
Let's show the people what we're talking about. I forget that we can do that. I got
You pull it up,
you
Emperor. Quit being
like
lazy.
No,
you,
I got it.
you
Let
and
me screen
and
share here.
Vaughn.
Yeah, screen share.
I still have
Well,
the
do
I
this.
actually
Ghislaine
think
Maxwell thing.
Discord's
Look
like
it up.
one of the
It's like,
easiest platforms to do this shit on. Except I gotta learn how not to talk over people. Like that's part of this. Like I'm kind of like I get a little stoned so I could
Oop.
listen
where'd
different.
my mouse go? There we go.
Okay, so this is
I mean, one thing is
OpenSea.
that you could change the like server to like West Coast if you wanted.
That's all right for right now.
Then he doesn't have to predict if he's talking over us.
Um,
But
so this is OpenSea. This is the website that everyone goes to buy and sell NFTs. For the most part, there are some other websites, but this is the more popular one from what we've learned. And so there's different filters you can look through, so you can go buy now, new, or on auction and other stuff like that. But what we're talking about is down here in the collections. These are
look,
the
Sandbox. That's the square ones.
yeah, I don't like those. Those are boring. Those are gross. But these are the apes.
Yeah.
Dude,
Okay.
these are tight.
So
Yeah. Oh, you're crazy.
these are the apes, and they these are the less rare ones. Actually, hold on. I'll just go to the more.
Just click high.
I'll do this. So this is low to high, or was that high to low? Low to high. Wait, what
Low to
is
high.
this?
These are
DAI. That's
less
new.
popular.
So these are the less
So that one you
popular
can buy
ones.
with day.
The cheaper
Yeah, so you can
ones.
buy depending on what wallet. So a wallet is like what app you use. So like if you use Coinbase, you can only use Ethereum to buy these. Um, and then what's the other one? It's like Fox or something. MetaMask. Um,
These are the
if
mutant
you use
apes.
MetaMask, you can use like different types of cryptocurrencies to buy them.
Yeah, see, bro, these go hard.
Yeah, these are super dope. Like I like the mutant apes more than the actual like Bored Ape Yacht Club. I like these so much
Yeah.
more.
Well, the other ones were based off of like society, kind of like
Yeah,
a
they're societal
basketball
things.
player's jersey, or like they were just like basic kind of.
There's some really crazy mutant ones. Like there's like this one. That one's
Yeah.
pretty dope. There's like some that are like made out of crystals and shit.
Yeah.
But so like that's
And
just
some
like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to that.
yeah.
But then like let me find categories
Go
again.
to like Gary V's.
Oh yeah, V friends.
Go to Gary and like explain like it's insane how much these cost. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah,
Like look
I'll
at that.
explain that too, but I'll go recently sold so we can actually see what things are selling for. So
Yeah.
you see this little gift goat, right? No,
Mhm.
gift goat.
These
These are all
these all
hand
look
drawn
like
by Gary Vee. First of all, they're hand drawn by Gary
they
Vee with a
actually.
marker and paper. Yeah, with a marker and
Wow.
paper, then they get turned into the NFTs. So this one was recently sold for 11.8792 Ethereum. If you click on it,
Which is
that
like
is $54,600 for this. So that's kind of like if you're in the popular realm, that's kind of like where your NFTs are going to be at. Their floor price right now is 8.3 Ethereum, which is really close to 50,000. It's probably like maybe like 40, maybe high 30s.
It's like 32,
Yeah.
something around there.
And so like these are pretty crazy. And you can
Bro.
make multiples. You can make rare ones. Kind of make them how you want. Like this probably. I'm surprised that didn't sell for more because it's the only one with a crazy background. But yeah.
To be honest, they're probably selling based off how like cheesy they are.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean,
'Cause when I
I
first
don't know, man. I think people nowadays buy things differently, and we buy based on like who we support, and
oh,
who
of
we
course.
support resonates with us naturally more than just seeing something and being like, "Oh, that's dope," but not actually knowing or having an association with the person.
Have you ever heard of
So for someone like Gary Vee,
hold on.
like this also is in line with Gary Vee's brand. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? He's always searching for new things, and he's kind of a hustler. He'll flip and trade things,
Yeah.
and name things that he can be that he can make something out of nothing. Essentially,
Is this
and
Andy
that's the key.
Milonakis?
Yeah. So if you've
Yeah.
ever heard of Andy
Ugh.
Milonakis, he actually just created his own
Of
NFT
course,
too, called Goat Soap.
that's tough.
And so like the floor price, it's not crazy high. So like most people could get into it. And so it's just little pixel art like this. And he minted like 3.7K different versions of this little guy right here.
That's tight.
Yeah. And so you kind of just go through here and buy whatever you want. Their low price right now. This is on auction. It's got 15 minutes left. Right now, the
Wow.
highest bid is $193.
Oh, let's hop in there.
I'd have
Send
to
you
put money into
200 right now.
Ethereum, and I still gotta buy Christmas gifts, so I'm gonna have to pass on that one. But like yeah, so like you could buy this one. So like this is the floor price, the 0.99 or the 0.099, which is about $400, $500, $450 to $500 for
You
the
still
low
get
level.
his money, man. Yeah.
But then you also got to think. So the only other stipulation is when you go to buy this for $455, you got to factor in another $100 to $120, $130 for a gas
Yeah.
fee, which is for the people who mine the cryptocurrency and stuff like that. I don't know fully understand how gas fees work, so I don't know exactly where it goes or why it's so high or whatever.
That's kind of
But
crazy.
My
it's
brain
yeah.
understands it. It's impossible to explain to anyone. So
Yeah. So really, you're
yeah.
not paying $455 for this. You're gonna pay somewhere near 600.
Bro, you really are a little.
Maybe like 650, 700, I would say.
That you're
Uh,
saying the gas fee is gonna be $250? The
No,
me?
gas
because
I've never seen
I'm
a
saying
gas
it's.
fee that high.
Oh no, it's gonna be like
It'd be like
600.
150. Yeah, that's what I said. 600.
Yeah,
Close to 600.
my bad. My brain did not comprehend that.
But yeah, so like, and that's just, and the people who make these can't really control that because that's kind of up to the environment of crypto.
And another cool thing
But yeah.
is, so like click on one real quick, just a random one. It doesn't matter.
Sometimes I feel like an old man. Just a wave.
Okay, so this one, for example, in 30 minutes, right now, what is that? 550. Okay, so we'll say it ends up selling for $600. Okay, um, the website gets what's the percentage? Like 8%?
I think it's even down here.
It should say, yeah. I don't know.
It's somewhere like 5 to
Somewhere.
7%.
Yeah, so the website gets a percent, and then the seller gets to choose how much. Up to they can choose up to 10%, but most people go like with a 7% they'll take. So when this sells for 600, say the person selling it wants 6%, they'll
Mhm.
get what's 6%? Like $60? Is that 60? Or
If
is
it
it
was
yeah,
600,
60.
6% would be like,
$6?
oh, yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Or $10? Wait.
No,
No.
1% of 600 would be
No,
$6,
take the
Yeah, it'd be 10
calculator.
bucks. 10 bucks. 10 bucks. It'd be like 10 bucks.
something like that.
Yeah.
So we can
So
fucking
normally
do the
someone will
math.
get maybe like $10.
It'd be $38.61.
Oh, okay, there you go. So whoever's selling it gets like $40 out of the 600. So
How the fuck does that math break down?
I don't know. I don't know math.
Where's that money going? You're telling me that if I made this,
So when you're
I would
buying
only
it,
see $40 off of that
when
sale?
yeah,
Is that
but
what
you
No,
you're
gotta
saying?
so
you gotta
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's gonna it resells and
So
resells.
you
So one
get
person will
So
only
what I'm
that
saying is people are
percentage.
buying this product.
Listen,
here. Scroll down to the price
listen,
history.
Hold
Kemper.
on, hold on.
You get that
Yeah.
6% every single time this image
Yeah,
changes hands.
yeah,
So if
Wait, so
yeah, so if I sold it to Josh, I would get
yeah,
I would get 6%. And if
yeah.
Josh sold it to you, I would get 6%. If you sold it to someone else, I would get 6%.
Yeah.
So it's
You
how
get
does
40
that
bucks
work?
every single time. And then you got to
every
think this
time.
guy's selling almost 4,000 of them. So, and he's popular, so he's getting 40 bucks left, right, left, right.
Yeah.
Hmm,
And it works
That's
because it's only
another.
tracked on this website. That's why this is like the main
Yeah.
NFT
That's
website.
Yeah.
that's so trippy. It's just such a different way of doing business.
Yeah.
It's smart, to have a perpetual economic chain like
Yep.
that, that incentivizes the
Well, it's like royalties too.
yeah,
So
making something fluent, and circulating good shit.
exactly.
I hope people don't come out or end up like quitting all these great ideas because then just society's going to come to a little brick.
A halt.
I don't think so, man. I'm a positive person.
Because
I,
there's so many people that like every day just think up like all these random things
can
and
I
their
tell you something?
next great invention. But
I sell guns all day long,
yeah,
and most of the people that I'm selling these guns to, like, I'm seeing that a lot of them aren't avid shooters or anything like this. That's why like 50% of the people that come in are like new to the gun community. They
yeah.
or they've only ever handled guns a couple times in their life. Like I know what I'm doing. And it's like an old dude that doesn't even know the difference between a slide release and a mag release. You know what I mean? Like I don't know
I
if
mean, I
you're
don't own a gun. I've shot guns.
working with revolvers or what the hell, but pistol's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
And so I don't know. What I'm seeing though, and what I'm trying to say is that it's a very like human experience that people are having across the board. Young, old, male, female, non-binary, whatever,
oh, we
straight
ain't
up.
getting into that now.
I'm just saying, what I mean, whatever you identify as. I don't care.
Yeah,
Basically, everyone just wants to feel safe, and this is a symbol that represents power and power
yeah,
over life and death, and that's something that we as society haven't like come to like grasp with, let alone the fact that violence might have a place in society after all, rather than saying that we can't fight against that and that not everything has to be this level of like extremes. Uh, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that gets really complicated because then you're talking about laws and a whole other system with the prison system, that's kind of like and media and all kinds of stuff that is incentivized, you know, to profit off of when people get penalized for natural circumstances. Like people are gonna fight, and I don't think it's a good thing. And but it just is what it is. It's a part of nature, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm not here promoting it, but what I'm saying is that people want to feel powerful, you know, and they may not want to. Sorry, you guys, I'm going on a crazy ass rant. Just
Yeah, you
We
are.
went from NFTs and
like, just fucking
businesses, and now we're talking about
yeah, bro. Like I'm telling you, it goes deep in the rabbit hole,
yeah.
you know. But
Everything has a connection.
exactly, and
Yeah.
what I think how we even got in these political circumstances, and I've been saying this for a long time, is that like regardless of, I don't really want to get like the whole Trump election. That can just be a topic of its own.
Yeah.
But um,
It's
Joe
rigged.
Biden Joe Biden could have been fucking anybody, but it was because
Hold on, say that again. Hold up.
Donald Trump represented something to the people that
Yeah.
was so negative and volatile that they would elect anyone, uh, because that person by default represented a like defiant, um or an overcoming of evil in a sense, and then it just like everything has continued to spiral, and we're just watching
Yeah.
it, you
I
know?
don't think that was necessarily the case though. Like,
I
um,
I just don't. I think people
when
didn't like how outspoken he was.
no, I'm more talking about the election part
What?
because when
Oh.
when they were, I don't think that Biden got into office by accident. Okay.
Mm,
Yeah.
So the way that I think it happened was, well, so there was this presidential candidate, and her
okay.
name was Tulsi Gabbard,
Yeah.
and she was the most badass chick you could want as the first female president. She served in the military in a medical unit overseas, which means she's seen some shit.
Uh-huh.
She was a senator for 8 years. She's a person of color. She's a woman. She's from Hawaii, right?
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
She got robbed out of her candidacy because, now I don't know the specifics, but it was had something to do with her advertising on Google, I believe, or Facebook, or one of the two. And they got pulled off of all the advertising on this specific platform for an unspecified breaking of terms of service, and it was never told to them why their shit was pulled down, but it was pulled down at one of the most pivotal points in the candidacy, the race, right? And she was robbed out of that. So I don't think that Biden getting in just came from people wanting Trump out, because if people wanted Trump out but they wanted a good pick, she would have been the pick. But they went for Biden, and I don't know why.
You don't think it's because they really wanted to put Kamala Harris in
No,
because then she could.
No, I
because
don't think
Kamala
any.
Harris got completely obliterated by Tulsi Gabbard in the debates.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
Yeah.
So you
like,
couldn't put her in, but if she was the person that you had leverage with, like politically speaking, if you were motivated like that,
I don't think she was even liked, bro. I don't think
Because I feel like Joe Biden is kind of
I don't think
public
anyone knew who
nonsense because of his
Kamala
capacity.
Harris was until last year. I'll be honest with you.
because my thing is, and I'm gonna break this down. And I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever heard anyone talk about Kamala Harris in this way. She okay. I'm not even gonna talk about some of the things that she's already done, but or before she ran for president or whatever. Okay, so in the preliminary debates, she had gone as far as calling Joe Biden racist. And she talked as if she hated him to death. Okay. Then all of a sudden, she's no longer a candidate, but she's a running mate with Joe Biden after talking all this shit to him. Now, there's two reasons you would do that. One, you wanted to defamate Joe Biden so that he would lose the race and you would win, which makes you look like a piece of shit. Two, you don't actually believe those things and you're saying them to do the same thing, which makes you an equally as big piece of shit. So that's like
I think
because
I
I
think they
want a
could have
job,
just
I
said,
defamate Kemper, but I still like him. I'm still his friend, but I talk shit about him. Would you? No one would want to hire me.
I see it like this. Right? If I'm truly looking at this as just very Machiavellian, of this entity being the party, whatever party you're on, it's just how politics work. Once it becomes a battle of parties rather than a battle of ideologies, you know, and us voting on them like we should, rather than having it this weird
I
way.
don't vote
you
federally.
know. But I think that I don't know
What?
politics, but I do know I would tell someone, "Hey, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of money and just say what needs to be said so we can stage something that we already know we're gonna reconcile in the end in some weird like way to make a race relations play that can be completely controlled and inside the house, because it's one candidate versus another. And we're
Yeah,
gonna let it play out on center stage, but we can script it in this way. You know what I mean? And from there, it's like, okay, we want you to win, but we can't get them to vote you in. And now we got this leverage because we've made some deals and stuff. You know what I mean?
hmm
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this old white dude run, but we know he ain't good for long. So once we get him in, then we pull a switcheroo and put you in. But really, that's us getting in, and you're just the face. So you get to
yeah.
live out this like thing of being president and everything that goes with that, even though you didn't really like earn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what's funny? Recently, uh, Joe Biden
That's
had a medical procedure done, and
mm-hmm.
because of this procedure, he relinquished presidential power to Kamala Harris for 88 minutes, which means she was president for 88. The first woman president was president for 88 minutes, and it was
Yeah,
Kamala
like an
Harris.
hour and a half.
Yeah,
Wait, why do you?
because
What
if
happened?
because he had to go in for a colonoscopy, and
Yeah.
so I don't know why he relinquished the presidential power over, but he
So
did.
Yeah, I don't.
because you had to get
Well,
a
in case he
cancer.
died, then
Well, it would already go
Well,
to
what would
him.
have happened if he would have died? It would have happened anyway.
Yeah, it would have
but it
happened
would have been a
anyways.
more difficult process because he wouldn't. I mean, he'd be dead.
What do you mean? I mean, for who? For us? Yeah, but what are we gonna do? That's why you're here. Your whole job was in case something fucking happens to this fucker.
Well,
You're
yeah,
supposed to get in
but
there.
you still have to do the whole transfer stuff. You still have to
Yeah,
transfer
well
the
now
paperwork.
who's gonna sign? We don't have anyone to sign for him.
Well, yeah, that's what makes it difficult. There's no one because he
So
can't
what
just
do we
sign his
do? You know what I
power off.
mean? You just keep going. Like, so we better fill someone else in the blank, and that's
I think if the
maybe
president's
what they
dead,
really
it doesn't matter. because
she would be the first person people look up to, but I don't think instantly she gets his power that he has. Well, like air quote
you have to
power.
sign
He doesn't.
something. I'm pretty sure, but you would
Yeah.
you would instantly become that because if you're in a war situation,
Okay.
say
In a
you're in
war
a war
situation,
situation,
but
this will pertain to every other situation, but I'm using this
okay.
as an example. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're in a war situation, or even like, let's say something a little bit less. Let's say something
Wait, bro,
a
are we
terroristic.
in a war situation? Are we in a war situation?
No,
Art? No. We were 3 months ago or 4 months
Hold on,
ago.
are we saying we're?
No, now, no.
well, I'm getting there. You can't interrupt
Just
me,
use
bro.
you use
Okay,
like
if
Bro,
there's a
you guys are
terrorist
so
bombing, if there's a
9/11.
terrorist bombing, no, just
Oh
like
No. Oh,
Jesus!
somewhere, and the president dies,
oh
and the
okay.
vice president is somewhere else. The
Yeah.
vice president is now the president instantly because they now have to solve this issue.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
you just brought up something that I never thought of.
What?
Whenever I think of like the president and the vice president, I always think of them going like everywhere together.
They don't.
But
No, they
yeah,
purposely
they keep
don't.
those fuckers apart, huh? That's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
interesting to think about.
Yeah. They
They
only
don't.
see each
They
other
have like Air
like
Force One and Two. They don't
yeah.
even use the same planes. They have their own.
Yeah.
Vice president might be the way to go.
And they only see each other like I don't even know. I think like 4 times a year in reality, and that's only when they do like speeches and stuff.
They talk on the
Uh,
phone and shit. There you go. Zoom.
Well, now we do it by Zoom, so you can
Yeah.
be doing
yeah.
whatever you want. You can be chilling, laid up,
Yeah.
Exactly.
doing whatever.
Well, I think it's been different because just everything's so
I would be
like
snowboarding and all kinds of
I
shit.
think they've been hanging around each other more just because everything can be like a Zoom call. So they don't have to worry about COVID or anything happening. So they're just sitting in like a base or something.
Hmm.
So they have like 24 security, and they can just go on like news and what have all these interviews and do it all digital. And then like whenever they're giving speeches, I mean, they just have all the people behind a line that's like far away. Uh,
I'm so big. All I can think about.
yeah, I know. I can tell you're baked.
No, all I can think of is you're melting into the seat just like I'm melted into this ball, but yours is like,
Oh, me? Here, I'll sit for
yeah.
you. Um,
Same just
I
sit
don't know,
up.
man. Like,
I'm sorry, bro. I got too big. I got nothing
you
for you.
got how many? Do you
Yeah, I'm
do?
just letting
You have a
look
bong or what? Edibles?
yeah, bong.
Bong?
Yeah. But I
I
swear
mean,
the weed's shitty though. You know what I mean? Like when you smoke it and it's hella
you live in a
hard.
legal state, and you're saying that the weed is shitty.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you. Hold on to that street weed.
How's it bad?
And I can't speak for him, but I can speak for
For what?
Port- in Portland.
In Portland?
So good.
Is it? It's bad.
No, like it's still good, but there's just so much of it, you
Yeah.
know? And so many people want it that and they want it for cheap. Like there's such a demand for it
Uh huh.
that the artistry, I don't believe is on the same level. Even though the competition is there, the artistry isn't,
You don't think? You think it's just kind of
because
like a
I know it
um?
isn't, bro. These old fucking hippie dudes used to risk their whole fucking lives because they were growing back in the Disney. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yep.
And
And to be honest,
that's what made waves.
still like people are still risking I get like air quote their life. I mean nowadays it's not so um serious, but I mean it's still like surprisingly serious if you like no one gets caught as much, but um weed is still technically categorized like the same as like cocaine, heroin. Like it's still a federal, like
In some
federally
states, it is.
illegal.
There's different classes.
Yeah, yeah. There's different um in Mississippi, like they have like only medical, but you're allowed to have like a certain amount. I think it's like 28 grams or something.
Well, dude,
Um,
Colorado
There
legalized
you
medical
go.
mushrooms.
Good
yeah,
on you.
yeah. He said, "Good on you."
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like in
yeah.
South
Dude.
Carolina, so like we have a house in Mississippi, and like if I wanted to, I mean, honestly, I could probably carry around a couple grams and I'd be fine. But I couldn't drive back to South Carolina, um,
Be
or else I
drug
would like get
smuggling. Oh
locked up.
fuck.
But no,
um,
like
I
what I'm saying is these people used to like it's such a labor of love. They're waking up
yeah,
early, going to bed late. They're fucking tending, making sure that the pH is right.
yeah,
Like I knew people that would play music to their plants and
yeah,
name them and talk to them as they watered them and like trimmed them and pruned them and spaced them. And, bro, it is so many hours of labor, right?
yeah.
So imagine if this is like your livelihood and not just your livelihood, like your true craft. Like you're smoking this. This is food you're eating.
Yeah.
You know
It's kind of
what I
like
mean?
candy. It's like candy.
Yeah, this isn't me handing something out the drive-through. You know
it's
what I
like
mean?
going on a hunt, dude. Because I've been watching Steve Ranella, the meat eater show I told you about, and it's
Yeah.
like going on a
That
hunt.
show's good.
They spend days out there hunting down these animals that they're calling and
Yeah.
calling, and they're elusive. They're chasing. Sometimes they don't even get it, and so like they're working and using their own art in a way of like tracking and finding where these animals are,
Yeah.
making sure the
Yeah, you
wind
gotta
doesn't take
trim
their
it
And
and
they're
scent.
kill
and,
it.
and like
Yeah,
based off of season and
yeah.
like the age and even like down to the point of where they shoot them or like
What
where how
weapon
they
they're
what
using?
weapon, and it all just bases off of like how good the meat will be after they like catch the animal.
That's
And
But you know
basically
what's
what
the
you're saying
trick?
with the weed.
yeah,
This is the trippy thing though. Weed like takes nutrients from the soil, right? And like gives life that continues to like live on through the
to
different
plant, yeah.
yeah, like it's like it lives on through a different
Oh,
experience.
he's so baked, dude.
Dude. Yeah, bro. I took an edible before this so I could kind of be there, but like you're losing me
So
still.
so we've got baked, we've got super baked, we've got just one edible, and then we've got sober Josh. This is funny.
Cuz
Sober
he
Josh.
was like, yeah, this plant gives off this stuff and makes something else's life more enjoyable in experiencing that at birth.
I'm
But
saying that it's like food that lives on in a different way. I had to catch myself because I was like, I guess if you eat a steak, it gives you the energy to live out a new
I,
experience in the
I'm
future.
like the babysitter,
But
you know? Yo, Kemper, you know
weed,
how? Have you ever had a babysitter if you do like acid?
no, no fucking
no,
babysitter.
no,
No, no, no,
like
no. They
someone
have
who's watching you when you do like
yeah,
a
so you
trip,
don't
go
do
like acid or mushrooms,
yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
Miguel
yeah,
was for us.
yeah,
Oh, fuck
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
That's how I
Trips are,
feel.
yeah.
That's how I feel right now.
Well, I do think that weed is properly classified as a hallucinogen, but a low level.
I can guarantee it is.
Yeah.
First of all, if you get
Well,
high enough and you close your eyes, you could see some shit, bro.
yeah, like it's like a
Close your eyes.
low level
Yo,
one though, and I what I truly believe it does, I think it takes your sixth sense, which is like your emotions, your instinct,
Yeah,
and makes it like
oh,
your first sense,
yeah. You
you
think
know.
of
So
everything in a more emotional way,
yo,
dude.
Zach,
yeah,
did I show you?
That's how I was when we did fucking mushrooms. I was so worried about Miguel enjoying what we like that whole like experience. That was like one of my
Mhm.
biggest fixations that entire night.
Zach, did I show
Huh.
you the video of like Demi Lovato?
No,
I didn't show. Oh my.
no.
So she has. You guys know Becky G. She sang "It's Friday." That girl.
Friday,
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Friday,
yeah.
gotta
So
get down
I don't
on
know how this
Friday.
happens,
Partying,
but
partying, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. So She has like a podcast, little like TV series on Facebook. Okay,
Okay.
her first guest was Demi Lovato because they're
Okay.
like best friends, I guess. And I've seen ads on TikTok about 20,000 times for this, and they talked about the whole pronouns, like all this LGBTQ stuff that's going on, and then Demi Lovato started her own podcast, and it's called 4D. And Demi Lovato claimed that we live our lives in 3D. And then she said that your next sense after real life is 4D. And that made no sense to me.
Oh, I can break this down.
Well, you just don't have a frame of
No,
reference.
because if you go to a 4D movie, have you guys ever been to a 4D movie?
There's no such thing as a 4D movie. You mean a 3D movie?
Yeah. No, there's 4D. Like they'll make the chair shake and they'll like squirt water at you.
I don't
You're-
know
That's
you're
not a
fourth-
4D
you're fourth-
movie. That's not That's not what
Yeah,
real
it is.
4D is. No, that
well,
may be
basically, the fourth dimension is like senses, though.
okay. Okay.
But she,
I don't
So-
she
know.
claimed,
I don't know shit.
I
about
think
dimensions,
you're.
but
I think
can
there's a
tell you
misunderstanding
about-
here
I gotta
of
show
what
you
the
guys this clip,
dimensions
though.
are.
Can I play this clip?
Yeah, screen
Yeah,
share.
okay,
But
let's go.
what
Roll
I'm
it.
gonna while you pull that up, I'm gonna explain something.
How the fuck did you learn about dimensions?
I've watched a lot of shit and I read a lot of
Basic
shit.
knowledge.
Okay, go on.
So 3D is what we live now, right? We see a side of something, and because we know it's round, is because it's got shadows. Okay, 3D, right? We know that we see it in a 2D way, but it's 3D because of its shadows and its feel and all this. I'll explain this after we hear this clip. Let me pull it up real
And
quick.
is something that
Let me find this.
was and what matters to me is your intention. And so just
I thought you were gonna
there's
get the
this
clip,
thing that
bro.
I've been-
But anyways,
So she was basically context. She was talking about meditation and
Okay.
the different dimension of it. I guess. I gotta find this.
if you want 4 dimensions, all right. You guys see this box, right? You see this? Let's pretend this is a perfect box. Okay. We see it as a box. But in 4 dimensions, you could see through it. You could see every angle, including inside of it.
Oh, I found it.
Hold on. Let me
Hold on,
jump
sorry.
back on.
Let me
found
unmute
it.
it.
Zoom
I love-
out so I can see this.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm starting it ahead so we can hopefully get some clarification.
I love the human connection. I love learning about people. I love storytelling.
yes.
And so I also want to know how you came across the name 4D. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yes. Well, 4D, if we all were to expand our consciousness, where would that take humanity? And it would take us into another dimension. And we live in 3D, and 4D is the next one. And so that's kind of where I came up with the name. And then also,
Okay. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
didn't even talk about how the dimension would be, like what that dimension is. It has nothing to do with emotions. It sounds like it's just like, oh, if we were to
I
start
think it
thinking
is.
on a different level, we would all start seeing reality in a different way. I don't think that's necessarily talking about like us being different on an emotional spectrum.
So, what were you saying about the fourth dimension earlier? And what did you get
Me?
from it? Yeah.
I was.
Oh,
I
are
was
we
just,
in different places on each other's screens?
Probably, but
Like
it's
if I
okay.
point over
yeah,
here.
yeah, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right here. You're right here for me, but Zach's probably
You're up
right
here for me, top
I
right.
told you I'm like an old man sometimes. The way I interact with this fucking
Yeah.
shit.
Yo, I
All
can't.
right,
believe,
go on.
I'm about to be 20 and I feel that way. But no, I was saying like. So she was saying we live in 3D, but my perception is that we live in 4D because we have senses of like we can feel water. We can sense like if something's hot or cold.
Mm.
So like what's beyond like I thought it was stupid how she said 3D, but I think we live in 4D. But like what's after that?
Well,
I
get
felt
this.
personal.
4D, we can't experience because it's a different sight. It's a different thing of
Yeah.
seeing. 3D is that feeling that you feel. That's 3D. But 4D,
Okay.
we would see the construction of everything. We could see inside of things, and like it's so hard to explain. But I seen a video on this shit and it blew my fucking mind. But yeah.
All I can tell you is like there's a level.
This is definitely a meditation topic for this 4D thing.
Oh,
Look,
if it's like
bro,
4-dimensional awareness, sure. But Kemper, go ahead.
the,
Sorry.
there's a level of it's almost like involuntary surrender, like where you're so humbled by the like embrace of the love that exists, you know, and the flow of it that you literally feel like you're imploding and like expanding in all directions at once. Like there's that level of like euphoria that you can reach.
So
And like
is that euphoria? Is that what you're calling what she thinks is the 4 dimension? Is that you
yeah,
putting? Okay.
yeah, I think
Okay.
it's like that's the commonality. It's like the symptom of people feeling that release where they're just allowing energy to flow through them and being present in the moment, you know,
Okay. So
and
it's
like
like
existing within the stream and letting the stream take you rather than standing there and trying to like
trying
go
to be a rock in
upstream.
the river. You're letting it
Yeah,
be like a leaf in the river.
Do you
exactly.
guys believe in this whole like energy stuff? Like there's energies.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I think
Um,
energy exists on a spectrum of frequency, but I also
Yeah, like
believe
EMF and stuff.
in God. You know what I mean? Like I believe in Jesus, bro.
so does
Yeah,
Like
Josh.
straight
yeah, I believe in you. Yeah, um,
so
believe he died on
that,
a cross
and
for our
that's not
sins. All
not
that.
to what anyone else thinks, you know. That's
Yeah,
just that's me and I feel like I gotta say it because some people, you know, they they don't hear it enough when they need to.
Yeah.
You know, like um, when someone's down, you might tell them some stuff or just be there. Sometimes the best way to do it is just to show them, you know, and just give them love rather than being like, oh, there's love out there, you know, because they'd be like, yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
because it's words. But
It's
like,
like it's like if someone's going through addiction, like can't just tell them like to quit. You know, you got to kind of
it's
just
really
be
just
around them
telling,
and you not do it.
well, like tell them never to stop talking to God,
Yeah,
like, and really talk, like, like we're talking,
yeah,
like, man, imagine you two in a car together, right? When you're driving.
yeah,
And
Music.
you're just talking to him. You're like, man, I know you didn't take me this far just to drop me off here. We've been going to cool places like all my life. Why are we in this
yeah,
shitty ass neighborhood, all broke down? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what it's like. You know, really, the whole time you think that you're broke down, you're not. You're just at a different rest stop in life temporarily.
I
You
need
know.
I
Accepting
need to
that
figure
things
out.
take time is hard for a
Yeah,
lot of people. And sometimes
Mm.
a lot of people don't understand the idea of timing when it comes down to like when you meet this person, when you know, like if you meet a certain person in the right time of your life, that could be it for your relationship, right? And it's cemented in that moment, whether it's right or
Mhm.
it's wrong.
yeah,
And you can meet this person and it'd be the wrong time and then it ends badly, or you meet this person and it's the right time and it's the most amazing interaction you have, and they either become a cool friend or they might become like oh my god, I can't talk, a romantic partner.
yeah,
So it's like it's all about timing,
yeah.
and
And a
sometimes
Mhm.
you
lot of
got to be
people
patient for
like
that timing to come along.
say I was looking for advice and I asked you, I was like, hey, like I met this girl, yada yada, or like, here's a bad example. I was like, oh, I got this job offer, and I think this is gonna be the greatest job ever.
Yeah.
Um, or
I was more interested to see
My
where
bad,
the
my bad.
other one was.
I would like to
Let's
see where
recheck.
the girl one would go though.
Yeah.
The girl one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Recently, I don't know. Girl stuff hasn't gone far. Let's be honest.
Hey,
No, but like basically, just like if I were to ask for advice on, like, oh, I want a girl. Like, I don't know what kind of like girl I'm into, or like, I really want this kind of girl.
the
Or,
right girl will
Oh,
come
you'll
along at
know.
the
Like
perfect
that's
time.
that's what I would tell you. Oh, you'll
see,
know.
and you would tell me to just wait and like take my time. But a lot of people, when they hear that, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna sit around and not do anything.
Doesn't mean don't
and, like,
look.
No, I'd tell
Yeah.
you different parameters. I'd say
Yeah.
just know that get comfortable with yourself to the point where you're like, I swear you learn what you want in like realizations. Like you
Mhm.
can have a whole checklist, but when that checklist becomes real is a whole nother thing.
Bro,
You go,
realizations
"Oh,
are mind blowing, man. And
Yeah.
when they happen, it's like, holy shit! Like, dude,
Yeah.
my
And
whole mind just shifted.
in
Like, I don't know if
relationships,
it's come to Zach's realization, but we met on the internet and I've met him in person. So
but
that's one of my realizations. I just think it's the craziest thing. And he hates it when I bring it up.
No, I don't. It's just like,
I
yeah.
bring it up a lot.
Yeah.
but
But that's one of my
For real.
realizations. It's like,
I'd just say don't paint yourself into a corner of like acting a way you think you should.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just be who you should be.
Yeah,
You
bro.
know,
Yeah.
otherwise you get in this weird game of like trying to impress this person, and then at
Yeah.
a certain point, like you run into where reality needs to like really be there because there's something awesome to like having
Yeah.
spark in
Like,
the
still,
beginning,
like, have those
spontaneity,
standards
you
that
know?
someone would have, but like, kind of shoot for it, Like, just go there. Like, get out of your comfort zone, kind of.
Yeah, and just go with what resonates with you,
Yeah.
because you might be thinking like, oh, this girl's fine as fuck, and you approach her and you're just talking to her,
Yeah.
and you might in your heart know like I'm not attracted to you like that,
Yeah.
but fuck with you so deeply on like fuck with your mind. You know what I mean? Like, or just like how you
Personality.
do what you do, your essence, whatever it may be. That it's
The
like,
vibe.
then you get it, yeah. And then it's like, all right, now, friend zone kind of shit. I can understand how to operate with you because we can go have some awesome conversations and learn so much from one another. What we go through. Like I went in, I took a class. Let me get my charger real quick. My laptop's about to die. But I
Run.
took a class.
Homie wants to film a podcast. This shit's gonna die. Yo, imagine.
We got
I don't
7
know.
minutes until I need to go eat.
No,
Yo,
I went to gosh damn it, women's studies. That's what it was called.
Yeah, I remember
took
you
a
telling me
women's
stories
studies
about this.
bro. That like changed me on a whole nother level. Hearing girls that were like such a variety of ages. I was the only guy. I was the
Yo,
only
holy
dude in
smokes.
there. It was crazy.
Oh. Speaking of girls, someone's girls in Discord.
I know.
Oh, you know? Okay. I like how you know.
Who?
So I've been talking to a
Um,
girl. That's all.
Oh, my bad. I didn't. Oh.
You told him, but you didn't tell me.
Well, Josh is
Well,
the reason I'm
I-
talking to the girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
We met her on. We
And
met her,
it literally started yesterday, so this is the first time I had a chance to tell you.
yeah. So basically, I'll start the start, and then you can tell anything about
Yeah.
her. But basically, there's a girl that I met through a bunch of friends, and her dad lives like 30 minutes from me, and so when she's not in college, she goes and visits him. But there's this girl I know, and I don't. I'll figure it out
So all
someday.
right, whatever.
I'll figure it out
I'll
someday.
explain it.
But there's this girl I
Anyways,
know,
yeah.
and she has a sister that joined Discord, and thought Zach had a nice sounding voice.
Yeah, she said, quote, well, okay, so Josh's friend
Yeah. Whatever.
told
name,
me
yeah.
that her sister said this. And then shortly after that, Josh's friend was like, "Hey Zach, I don't have your Instagram. You're the only person I don't follow that's in here." And so I gave her my Instagram. She followed me, I followed her, and then I looked at her story, and her sister was on her story. And because I was high and it was really late, I was like, "Fuck it." Followed her because I knew she thought I was cute. And then she followed me back, but after I followed her, I liked her most recent picture, and then she followed me and did the same thing. And then we've been talking
Crazy.
since yesterday.
It's cool.
So
The internet is a cool place, man.
The internet. Dave Chappelle did the best damn sketch about the internet. Like, if the internet was a real place, like the mall.
He's homophobic. No, I'm just-
That shit is so funny. Because the internet is awesome, but it can also.
The internet's awesome. It's creative, and it's made everyone in this world creative as they are.
and connected, intertwined.
But in my
Bro,
opinion, as
in
creative
different
as and
ways.
connected as we can be, there are a bunch of, and I mean, it could just be my political side, but there's some dumb fucks in this world, and I'm not gonna lie.
There's a
people that
lot
have
of dumb
gotten-
people, and it has nothing
Yeah.
to do with politics.
That's what I'm saying. Like, back in the day when we were creative in different ways, because a lot of shit wasn't invented, right? A lot of shit
Yeah.
that we have invented is just like souped up versions of things we've already invented.
Yeah,
Like NFTs, they're just
the original
a bigger,
iPhone.
more magnified version of like Pokemon cards at a playground.
Because our needs haven't necessarily changed, you know?
Yeah,
It's just how we survive with one another versus like, and I
Yeah.
think realistically, back in the day, if you imagine like fucking, were we alive? We weren't alive with dinosaurs. But, like,
well, no, okay. So we weren't alive. Us three were not alive. I don't know how, bro. I don't know how stoned you are, but holy shit.
A mammoth is big, right? So I was like, is a mammoth a dinosaur or a motherfucking, what is it? Just a hairy
Zach,
elephant?
yo, Zach, when you
I
end this,
saw
can you please,
elephants, fucking,
can
what
you
are
please
those?
send me a clip of that? This man's talking about
You know what I'm
elephants
saying?
now.
Yes, because you guys aren't understanding that I'm looking at the human.
Yo,
and I'm like,
Are you saying the
that's
human
a
being?
fucking-
The human
I'm
being?
yeah, I'm saying
Okay.
compared to a human being, right? That is
Homeboy
like
went
we're-
from dinosaurs
we're-
to elephants.
Yeah, that is like a fucking creature, bro. It's
Mhm.
not a human
Are
being.
you just trying to like
Like,
give an example of like evolution?
yes, bro. That's what
Okay,
I'm trying
so-
to do.
I'm surprised I'm sober and I can understand.
After
this.
dinosaurs died out nearly 65 million years after
Hey, they're
that,
still
humans
dinosaurs.
appeared.
You ever
Yeah,
heard
But
of
we
the-
do
what I'm
live
saying
along
is, like,
alligators, so
I'm saying we probably survived.
I thought birds were
by
dinosaurs
being dope as
or
fuck
something.
from each
No,
other,
yeah.
You know? And like, yeah, war happens and does happen and will happen. whatever.
yeah.
But I think it's getting less and less, and I think that like we
Yo.
survived back in the day by being like tight knit civilizations, even though we might have
Yo,
had some
get this.
different cultural values.
How? Because whenever like we go outside, like dirt's dirt, you know, like it's like it's
Yeah.
used
mhm.
to drill holes.
And
like,
you
it's
are
so
you.
Dirt.
No, 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 no. We're keeping this on dirt. What is the evolution of dirt? Like
Mm.
what changes in dirt? Because there is
That's
like
the
an evolution or a change.
But
I know.
dirt changes, right? Okay, so the way that I see it,
Yeah.
right?
Like what? How
Dirt-
does it evolutionize?
The evolution of dirt
Yeah.
is plants, bro. Think about it.
Like plant.
Yeah,
S-
listen.
the plant.
Because
Okay.
plant that's just as high as what Kemper said. But no, I'm serious. Listen. The dirt is what provides the nutrients for the plants, okay? If the
Yeah.
dirt
Make sure
evolves,
that
the
was
plants
cool.
evolve, okay?
I got you,
Yeah.
but that's just, you said it all cool.
Yeah. I was like, the dirt is the plants are the evolution of dirt. But it's for real because like you have this whole connection of a whole system, bro. And this system is more complex than most people understand. And then they try
Yeah.
to say that plants don't have an intelligence, but they do.
Uh-huh.
It's insane because they're fucking smart, bro. Get this, Josh. I don't know if you know this, but one tree
I probably
species.
don't.
So, like, let's say there's a big tree that's really healthy, right? And then there's a
Yeah.
little tree that's struggling to stay alive. That big
Yeah.
tree gives nutrients to that little tree.
Like through like roots
Yes,
and like
through the root
wow.
systems. Catch
No
this
way.
also, bro. If you think it, oh my god. So there's an oak tree, right? And I've learned this from Joe Rogan, but I also read about it after that. Like after I seen it on Joe Rogan, I read
Yeah,
about
you
it.
watch this guy like he's like a pastor.
No, I don't. I just
Yeah,
like to watch his
Hey,
podcast.
dude,
But
Joe Rogan is the shit.
he has
Yeah,
so
I'm not
many
gonna
cool
lie.
people on there. But this tree, right? So this is an oak
Yeah.
tree. And
Yeah.
this oak tree gets its leaves eaten by these specific caterpillars. And when
Yeah.
when one tree is being eaten, it tells all the trees in the surrounding area, and they change their flavor so that the caterpillar doesn't like it. But catch this. This is what blows my mind. They were able
Yeah.
to trigger this reaction in the trees by playing a sound of the caterpillar eating.
So trees have ears in some sense. or
They can they're either sensing the
So the
vibration.
tree in
Wow.
The
That's
tree heard a
cool.
caterpillar eating and changed its flavor.
But dude, they came out
Wow.
with this shit a long time ago. All right, there was a East Indian dude back in like I want to say 1914, and he came out with the Crescograph, which was kind of like a tuning fork, and he proved that there was consciousness within plants by the way that they responded to different tonal frequencies and things like that.
Bro, there's another
Wow.
one. I want to, dude.
And that's like in 1914, bro.
They
Think
can
about
program plants, dude. Check this out.
Did you?
You know how like you would train a cat to not be on the countertop by spraying it with water?
I don't
Yeah.
know how to train a cat to be
Or like
So if you did that, but you can do that to a plant. So like you can
I
tell.
think you
So
need to have
they
tools like that.
they made these plants. So they put So let's say I think it was like a red light or whatever it was that would give them warmth and stuff like that. They put it in there and then they associated that light, that warmth, with an air conditioned sound, right? I'm probably butchering this. But then when they took away that light and they moved the air conditioned sound, the plants grew towards the sound as if they still believed it was where the light was coming from.
Oh.
That's cool.
that'd be
They
cool.
also
You guys are high, so I don't trust everything you're saying.
No, that one was another one I've seen, but there was another one where you know those plants when you touch them they close, not a Venus flytrap,
Yeah.
but it's the
You're
sensitive
talking-
plants.
not a
So like
Venus flytrap.
all you gotta do is touch them and they kind of close up real gentle and stuff. It's called a
Oh, you're
sensitive
talking about
plant.
the bit. Yeah.
And so what they did was they took one plant and they dropped it. But when they dropped it from a little bit of but like it was in a pot, they dropped it onto a table, it would close, right? Because it associated the drop with a threat. After a few times of dropping it, it stopped associating it with a threat and it didn't close. And then they did it with the other ones, they did it too. And then they did it in the room with others. This one I might be lying about, might be making this one up, but I can't remember. But they did it in the room with others, and they didn't close. Like a whole new plant that didn't know this was in danger. They dropped it and it didn't close. But I think I'm
Yo.
lying.
Can I be honest with you guys?
No. Sure.
I had to full screen Kemper because I thought he was frozen.
It was just
Yo, I literally was watching him. I thought he was frozen.
I was listening and like I got lost and tried to follow this story.
bro. That's how
Um,
lost I've been trying to follow your stories sometimes.
Well, talking about like the
Fucking
growth
it is
of
what it
plants,
is.
they just can't. So speaking of the growth of plants, they just came out with, they gave
You're a
a
fucking
rat.
child.
What?
You're a child. You're a fucking child.
What?
You're a fucking
Oh.
child, bro.
They just came out. They just figured out how to manipulate like cell regeneration, like growing limbs,
Yeah,
Okay.
and they used it on rats. And so they're thinking that they could regrow arms on humans in like not soon, but like in a few years. They're thinking that with this cell regeneration, they could regrow arms and like legs and shit.
I'm sure they could.
Dating in the meantime.
What? Dating? What?
Yeah, like if like you had like a forearm regrowing.
If you had like
Dating
a
in the
nub?
meantime might be kind
Oh, like as it was growing back.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like you just have
Like,
like a
oh,
half
yeah.
arm. Like, hey, how'd your forearm get blown off? It's kind of awkward, but it's been growing back
It's
for
like-
like 2 months now, and it's just creeping up, and all of a sudden you have a whole arm now.
You're going
Yeah,
on
it's
a
like
Tinder date
mental-
and you meet
yeah.
with a nub, and then like 3 months you have an arm.
Yeah.
That would be
It's
crazy.
like, do you have a
Bro,
twin
think
brother or
about
something?
that though. For real, dude. Think about this.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Cars are inanimate objects and they don't necessarily have a life of their own. But cars, humans, and other living things are like the only things that can heal themselves. Think about that, bro.
I don't know.
That's the best part.
My
That's the
cars
best.
have always performed better when I'm in a good.
When you what?
Well,
And I'm telling you, bro, I don't know what it is.
I think it's your
But-
perception. I think it's your perspective
No,
in
bro,
that
my
moment.
attitude
No,
is
dude,
hella
it's
like-
gotta be. Because if I'm angry, I'm
Maybe you just
seeing
have to
every
have a
angry thing.
ghetto-ass car. When you have a ghetto ass car, bro, this is how it starts out, and then you wind up realizing, like, nah, it's true. The fucking that car
Maybe, but-
knows when I'm feeling good that we're on the same page. We
I
can
think,
talk.
dude, honestly,
fucked
we're
up
too
with
high
this
to
stuff
continue.
like that.
I'm pretty sure if my car
Well-
knew how I was feeling, because I was going to get a COVID test because I was gonna work on this show, and I'm pretty sure if my car knew how I was feeling about getting that job, pretty sure I would not have gotten in a car accident that day.
Well, that was out of your
No,
control, but it's how the car runs,
Yeah.
not how
Yeah.
you almost die.
Oh, I thought he was trying to say like a car is like reading your feelings. and
No,
like,
how it
saying that to
runs.
you.
But-
Oh, how it
but, bro,
runs. Oh, it was running great. I mean, that thing. I mean, it was still running after.
But maybe you were-
Running
maybe
away.
you were feeling- But Jay,
I-
maybe you were feeling nervous and you needed something to
I don't know.
happen that wasn't gonna truly deter you, and so you wound up being led, by God
Yeah.
through your spirit to the place where you have this interaction at the perfect time, where you have an accident, but then you're like, all right, that's out of the way. Now you don't feel nervous because you already feel goofy. You just got in a fucking
Yeah.
accident. And you have to come to grips with
What's
things.
great
And
that day, I
you get
still
the
ended
job
up.
and you're like, "Yeah."
Damn, bro.
Feel me?
I had to
Yeah.
reschedule. I still made it that day to get my COVID test. And if I didn't make it that day, I probably wouldn't have been able to work on that job that I worked on it for like a little bit. And if I didn't, there was someone that would have replaced me that next week. And I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. The Righteous Gemstones is a good show.
Have you watched it? You start watching it? No?
But when I watched it, it was good.
You did watch it?
Yeah, I watched the
Oh, wait, did
season
we
of
watch
it.
Did we watch it together?
I don't know.
I think we did.
I don't know. But I think this is a good stopping point.
Yeah. But
'Cause my neck's
check
starting
out
to
on
hurt,
our-
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I don't know where Kemper went. But
I don't either. When he
I
gets
don't know,
back,
man.
we'll sign
maybe
it
it'll
out.
be linked. Check me out on the socials. Josh
TikTok.
Photography. TikTok.Josh. I just post my truck and some political jokes. So
For sure,
Enjoy that.
entrepreneur.
All right, guys.
Yeah, boy.
it was fun being the first guest. I appreciate it.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah,
Anytime, Josh.
dude, you rock.
You're
Thank you,
welcome
thank you.
back anytime.
Okay, I want to be on it
Yeah.
next week.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Fuck it.
Alright.
You're scheduled.
Thanks.
All right.
Later.
Later.